Hey, good people, what's up? It's your boy Honest Blade back with another video. So, this video right here, I'm going to be talking about virtual fighters. Now, before I get started, I'm going to keep it real. I do not hate virtual fighters, so please do not think any criticism or if I say anything that may not be favorable to you means I hate the game. I'm not like one of those Tekken players who hates all other 3D fighters. No, I have no problem with virtual fighters, but I'm not going to sit here and lie like I'm the biggest virtual fighter head. But I do respect the series. It's the first 3D fighters that ever been created, and Virtua Fighters paved the way for all our favorite 3D fighters that we have today. That being said, it is my least favorite of the 3D fighters, mainly because outside of a few things, I find VF very hard to play. Nevertheless, it is a cool series with cool characters. Yes, a lot of the designs are generic. I will touch upon that later, but for the most part, the designs are really cool to me. They think the only cat that's like really generic to me is Jeffrey and Akira in terms of looks. But the rest of the cats I think look pretty unique. I always mean some more than others like John Kujo, my baby Gohin Ogami, Vanessa Lewis before they bleached her damn skin. But overall, I think the Virtual Prize cat look pretty damn dope. Now, for those who have not been living under the rock, Sega revealed that Virtua Fighter 6 is in development. They even showed Akira and Stella Bryant, which is going to be one of the topics I want to discuss in this video concerning Stella. Now, I'm happy BF is back because for a long time, Tekken was the only 3D fighter out here still thriving. Dead Alive was nowhere to be seen outside of, the gotcha Venus Vacation games. Soul Calibur Street like a redheaded stepchild, maybe even worse than that. And games like Bloody War or other 3D fighters are a thing in the past, pretty much. So Tekken was the only thing here. Thankfully, now VF is on the way. I personally think VF will come like mid 2025 if things go well with the game. And depends how long the game is in production, how much has been done thus far. And I definitely hope VF6 does extremely well. Extremely, not just okay, fantastic. Now, Now, for those who know of VFs, because I do like lore, I'm a big person in lore of fighting games. My lore in VF is not that good compared to like DOA or KOF or Street Fighter, but it's there. Basically, Virtual story is with pretty much a bunch of fighters, very talented fighters, and the organization J6. J6 being the villains, how they pretty much brainwash Sarah to try to destroy the other fighters in the tournament. Then, of course, they got their other henchman, Gohin Ogami, and I think Jean Kujo was another fighter they brainwashed, which was Leon's friend, the Mantis dude. Um, and they also kidnapped Vanessa. The reason Vanessa got her bleach skin, to me that's absolute BS. I just feel like they wanted a light skinned black woman, and to me there was nothing wrong about Vanessa being dark skinned black woman. And if Vanessa does come back, she needs to come back being dark skinned. Do not make her come back light skinned. I'm a light skinned biracial guy, so I also have no problem with no light skins. But dark skinned characters need to be treated much better than they are in all forms of fictional media and media in general. But let's not talk about colorism and racism too much and all that jazz, because that's not what this video is about. That's just a personal critique on Vanessa Lewis that I personally dislike. Now, we seen Akira. First thing that caught my eye outside Akira's more rough look, Akira looks older. And I remember when the leaks of VF6 is being circulating through the internet, I said circulating through the internet, that VF is going to be a reboot. Based on what I've seen, VF6 is not a reboot. It's continuing the story of VF5. It's giving me MKX teas, like how MK9 and then MKX was a big time jump. Akira looks much older, recognizable, but he looks much older. Now, unlike Tekken, we know Tekken doesn't really do big time skits, and that one time they did, let's be real, they kept make sure they kept characters like Nina Williams and Anna Williams very young. I do not think they're going that same route with VF. That means the women in VFs, Pi, Oi, Vanessa, Eileen, and Sarah. There's only four girls. But I hope it's much more in VF6 because just having four female fighters, low key is ass. Not low key, high key is ass. Anywho, when I saw Stella, because I was confused. First, I'm thinking, is Stella a mistake? Did they mean to put Sarah? But like, how do you get Sarah and Stella mixed up? But to me, it looks intentional because Stella's little tagline, what it's called, is the bridge between two worlds. Now, these are my personal speculations of Stella. And first and foremost, Sarah is actually one of my favorite VF characters as well for the females. For the males, it's Gohin Ogami. But for the females, it's Sarah and Vanessa. But I would definitely give the edge to Sarah. Sarah is an iconic character. She's one of the most famous because she's one of the original fighters from the first VF game. So I'm not so worried about VF doing time skip. That's fine. But I really think considering the major gap, not just like a 1-2 year gap, the major gap from VF5 to VF6, I think replacing Sarah is a terrible idea. Now, first, let's talk about theories about Stella. Stella Bryant, the most realistic one, she is Sarah's daughter. Because I guess another idea she could be Jackie's daughter, but I cannot see a daughter Jackie imitating her aunt so much. If Stella was Jackie's child, I would see her more imitating her dad. But that's by either A. Stella is Sarah's daughter because Stella looks like she dresses like Sarah, just with a more upgraded blue bodysuit, with her own style and a different unique face. But Stella looks like Sarah, just younger. So it gives the indication that Stella Bryant is Sarah's daughter. That's the most obvious one. But now here's the thing. Nothing against Stella. It's way too early to replace Sarah. Way too early. I can understand this was like Virtua Fighters 11 or Virtua Fighters like 13. If they decide, okay, no, it's time to retire Sarah, she's been playing games now, let's introduce her daughter Stella. While Stella may play like Sarah, based on what I see in that little reveal for VF6 of her Stella fighting Akira, Stella looks like she plays exactly like Sarah. That's not the problem. But just because she plays like Sarah, she is not Sarah. It's the same thing with Julia Chang and Michelle Chang. Julia, and like I said, Tekken 3 and Tekken 4, she played just like Michelle. But we knew it was a different character. Thankfully, that time, I like Michelle Chang. Michelle was not popular enough, so when she did get replaced by a younger character, which is her adopted daughter Julia, no one really made an uproar about that because Michelle wasn't as popular. It's not like Nina got replaced or something like that. However, Sarah is one of the leading faces of BF alongside Akira, Jackie, and Pi. So replacing Sarah, I don't care you want to use, well, Sarah's too old now. First and foremost, this is fantasy. You can find a BS excuse to keep Sarah in the game. And plus, to me, I feel sometimes this complaint is nonsense, but in this case, it's valid. There's nothing wrong having an older female fighter in a video game. If Sarah was like in her early 40s, because that's what I would give around Akira. If Sarah's in her early 40s, she would still be in good shape. Like, first of all, there's a lot of women who are in middle age who are in damn good shape. Some of them look as young or even younger than people who actually are in their 20s and early 30s. So the idea that Sarah had to be replaced by Stella, that's if Stella turned out to be Sarah's daughter. This is theory one. It's nonsense. You could have definitely kept Sarah around, and Stella, you could have had it now foreshadow Stella's are coming. But Sarah definitely should have been in BF6. I personally do not think replacing Sarah at this time is a smart call, and I feel it's going to really hurt Stella's character because so many fans were expecting to see Sarah back. You didn't replace Akira. You were okay keeping Akira, just bring her older, but it's still Akira. You could do the same thing with Sarah, or you could have bullshitted it, say something happened because of her experimentation with J6. Despite her being older, she retained her youthful appearance. Yes, a lot of people have compared it to Nina Williams, but Sarah and Nina have been always compared to each other because if I remember correctly, Sarah was the basis for Nina Williams. And I'm like 90% sure of that. Anyways, Stella is going to have big shoes to fill, no pun intended, if she turns out to be Sarah's replacement, which is leading the case. Scenario 2 is Stella. Stella is Sarah. They're the same person. It's just somehow Sarah forgot her name and she's calling herself Stella. Or J6 got a hold of her again and decided to call her Stella. To me, that just seems stupid because when Sarah was first brainwashed by J6, they still called her Sarah. She was just under J6's influence. But they ain't like, oh, by the way, we need to change your name. And if you're going to change her name, why keep the S there? Why not call her Mercedes or call her Tiffany? Throw people off more. Just call her Stella. Yeah, keeping that S there. Yes, Sarah and Stella are two different names, but they both were S. And 2 syllables, if I'm being correct by how the word syllables is used. Because Sarah was Stella. Anyways, if Sarah and Stella are indeed the same person, Goodness to Sarah fans, she's there. Obviously, she didn't get replaced, but I just think it's silly to go through the whole name change if it turns out to be Sarah. It's not even a good red herring. Like, for instance, going back to Julia Chang, and Tex Tattoo, which is non-canonical, JC, JC. It's like it was a sneaky way, but an obvious yet sneaky way to let us know that Julia Chang was in Tekken Tag 2, just under a moniker JC. Julia Chang, JC. But calling Stella, it's not like they're calling her SB. It's Stella. Like, I can understand the character name was Stella, but Stella wore like a mask. She wore a different look, but she played like Sarah. So you're like, she don't look like Sarah. She's covering up her face, or at least she's covering her face, but the body reminds me of Sarah. The moon reminds me of Sarah. I want to know who this Stella woman is. It's probably just Sarah's alter ego. But they didn't do that. Stella is not hiding her face. She's wearing an outfit that's reminiscent to Sarah. So, and she just looks younger. And she fights just like Sarah based on what we saw in that trailer with her going against Akira. So, it's giving that Stella is most likely Sarah's daughter, because the whole bridge between two worlds. It's giving like Stella's kind of like she's essentially the new generation, but she's inspired by our pre-existing, a well-established character, the bridge between two worlds. If I'm reading into that correctly. But I also think it's a bad call to have Sarah replaced. Now, Theory 3, Stella's a Sarah clone, which I think is the most dumbest one of them all. But not saying it's like dumbness or someone shouldn't think that. It's a possibility. I just think that'd be the worst one out of all three theories by Stella. But personally speaking, like I said, me, I like Sarah, but I'm not going to sit here like I'm attached to Sarah so much. If Stella is Sarah's daughter and she replaces Sarah completely, it would bother me. But I know a lot of hardcore Sarah fans are not going to be happy with that. I'll use a good example. Cassie Cage. Cassie Cage was introduced to MKX, the sequel to MK9. I personally like Cassie as a protagonist, just saying, but this is not really about Cassie. We're not going to talk about people who like her, dislike her. But basically, Cassie was here to be a replacement of Sonya and Johnny. But know how it was kind of good for the Sonya and Johnny people? Cassie existed, but she didn't eliminate Sonya and Johnny's presence. Hell, Cassie, while she took moves that were inspired by her parents, she played nothing like neither of her parents. That means Sonya still had her identity, Johnny still had his identity. But I do not see them having Stella and Sarah in the same game. At least I don't think so. I could be dead ass wrong, but unless they're gonna retool Sarah's whole skill set, move set, whatever you want to call it, and Stella plays like the older Sarah, while Stella Bryant would play a whole different style. I doubt that they're gonna do. Therefore, Stella is there in place of her mother. That's Stella is Sarah's daughter, which I'm personally gonna believe until more news comes out. Now, next thing, the roster. We know Stella, we know Akira. Duh. Pi has to be there. And nothing I'm going to say about this. They better not pull, Pi had a daughter as well. Her daughter's name is, this is a generic Chinese name. Please, Asian communities, particularly Chinese, please do not come kick my ass. But Pi has a daughter named Ling Ling. And Ling Ling fights just like her mother, but she's younger and youthful. First and foremost, I'm going to say something and don't laugh. Asian people in general age just like black people. We could look very young for a long time. Baby, Lucy Liu is in her 50s, if I'm not mistaken, and she shits on a lot of younger girls. Lucy Liu is a bad bitch. So you cannot tell me that you cannot keep Pi that's maybe early 40s and Pi's like, she's too old to be in the game. No. Pi's an iconic character. She's one of the most recognizable. She's one of the female faces of BF alongside Sarah. So while we don't know the full context of Stella's place in the story as of yet, and if she truly is replacing Sarah, if she's not actually turns out to be actually Sarah just under some amnesia crap, they better not get rid of Pi. Pi needs to be in that game. And I think it would be so cool to show a middle-aged, regal Chinese female fighter. I think that would be a missed opportunity to go, Pi's too old. She needs to be replaced by a younger version of herself. No, you keep Pi around. Next character needs to stick around. You keep Wolf Hawkfield. Obviously, since he's a male character, doesn't matter, you age him up. Wolf Hawkfield sticks around. More muscular, has some age to him, but still very strong. Another character you bring, Jeffrey McGuire, same thing with Wolf. More muscular, But only thing I would say with Jeffrey, please update that man's design. Jeffrey is cool. Jeffrey is daddy as fuck. If Jeffrey was real, I would let Jeffrey do some nasty things with me, as long as it was, nothing painful. But Jeffrey's default look is bland as fuck. That's going to need a design change. Not obviously keep his skin color. I wouldn't even mind you keeping him like longer dreads, but his fit needs to be his default fit. Now he could have his classic look as one of his alternate looks, but his default fit needs to stick around. But his default fit needs to be changed. Jeffrey is one of those characters. I hate to say it, cool character, especially when he's customized by talented players. But Jeffrey's default fit, just in those tan pants, is so boring. It's so painfully boring. Please upgrade Jeffrey's look. Next, Kagemaru. That if I gotta explain why Kagemaru needs to be in VF, baby, we have a real problem. But yes, Kagemaru needs to be turned VF. And I prefer it be the same Kagemaru, because technically they could do a Kagemaru. They could say, well, no, this is his disciple. I could also see him pulling a younger male ninja character. No, keep the Kagemaru we had throughout this time. Another character I would say, now I'm 50-50 on her. I'm not against her being in the game, because I think an older Japanese woman fighter would be cool too. Or I'm 50-50 on. Personally speaking, if I was going to bring a younger version of a female character to replace an older character or older female character, Oi would have been my choice. I could definitely see a young Aikido master. This girl could be either Oi's daughter, which is the most typical route, or another typical route. She's Oi's apprentice. And Oi's now, she's up at 8. Oi got her own thing. Like, look, I don't want to do all that sparring crap like I used to do. To me, Oi could just be in the game still, whatever. So now her apprentice goes into the BF tournaments to continue the Aikido arts. Lei Fen, the monk dude, Lei Fen definitely needs to be in BF6. And I'm trying to think who else. Jackie, not going to do too much in Jackie, especially depends on what Stella's story is. I'm not the biggest Jackie person. Do not hate Jackie, but I'm not one of those people. I'm like crazy about Jackie, but I would say I'm 95% certain Jackie's coming back. Vanessa, I'm going to be where I'm now. Call me whatever. I don't want Vanessa back unless she's a dark-skinned black woman. If she's going to be a light-skinned black woman, save her for DLC. I only want Vanessa on base roster. She's just a dark-skinned black woman. And since Vanessa's black, you don't have to replace her because, black don't crack. Vanessa can stick around. She could be 45. She'll still look 22. Anywho. So that's that. And I think the last for the base roster. I'm not a big Taka Owashi person, but I think it'll be more easier for the developers to have Taka Owashi as a base roster character. There's no need to replace Taka Owashi with another sumo. Unless you're going to do something funny, like what SK did with Hinako, bring a girl to be Awashi's replacement, but she use sumo. Pretty much she uses Taka Awashi's skill set. But I think it's just better to bring a Taka Awashi. Go Hinogami is a yes. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I would be buying BF day one, but at some point, I definitely see myself playing BF6, and if Go Hinogami's not there, heads will roll. That's my baby right there. I know he's a psychopath, but that's my baby. Go Hinogami needs to be in BF6. Now, the remainers I did not mention, I don't care for Lion Raphael too much. I don't care for him. He's never a character I care for. But if he's back, fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over Lion. Lao Chan, pause that. Lao is old now. Now this is why I'm going to put the ageism game in. Lao, I remember him being sick too, if I remember correctly in his story. He's getting sick. Lao needs to be replaced. It's time for Lao to be rest easily. And that is another thing someone could do with Pi. If Pi comes back, Pi could keep some of her moves from her skill set, also adapt her father's techniques as well. And if they want to bring another more youthful Chinese female character, she could play like the more typical Pi. But La Chan, I'm not trying. I know. If C Money sees video, he's gonna kick my ass. That's his fave right there. But Lao, story wise, needs to be rest the pasture. He needs to go. Like he's just no. Now I can say they want to have make him a DLC fighter at some point, but he's canonically still deceased. But he just in the game for DLC purpose. He's not part of the story though. Fine. But Lao is to the point he should be gone. Same thing with Shun-Di. Shun-Di, another one. Shun-Di, there should be a new drunken boxer character, but Shun-Di himself, to me, should also be gone. Not because, oh, I hate Shun-Di. It's just, if VF was doing this time skip story, Lao and Shun-Di are two older characters. They make no sense for them to come back. They definitely need to have apprentice characters or replacements by them, whatever way you want to call it. Trying to think next. Elaine, she's young. So Elaine, realistically, Elaine is fine to come back. I just not the biggest Elaine fan. I just never care for the character. Do not hate her, just don't care for her. So Elaine, I'm willing make her DLC if you must. But I don't feel no type of Elaine. To me, Elaine can sit this one out. I'm not like, oh, I hope she's gone. I hope she's 6 feet under. I don't feel any animosity towards Elaine like I feel like by Maximum for KF or Gong Il or Heihachi. No, I just don't care for Elaine. But if she comes back, cool. L Blaze, I like L Blaze. That's one of my favorites right there too. I'm not against L Blaze. I'm really not, but I don't see L Blaze being the base watcher VF6. I would love to be wrong, but I feel like he's giving DLC. He's giving DLC. If Wolf needs a rival, they either could do Wolf and Jeffrey being rivals, or bring a younger wrestler character who's a more freestyle form of wrestling that's trying to upset Wolf's more traditional wrestling. That's what I'm thinking. But L Blaze giving DLC tease. If I'm wrong, that's fine. Next, John Kujo. Definitely needs to be in the game. I think John Kujo is a cool karate practitioner. He has a cool look. And I feel like he will look perfect in a modern VF game. I'm not trying to go through the rest of the roster. Brad Burns. I like Brad. Rule 34 reasons. I like Brad Burns. Brad is fun. I have no problem with Brad is one of my faves. But Rufus Margaret mentioned this earlier. I don't think Brad Burns is such a strong character. You need him in the base roster. Hell, I would even argue you could replace Brad with another sexy kickboxer character. But Brad is giving DLC as well, to me. And then I'm trying to think, who did I not mention? I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I really can't remember. But I think I named a base roster. Now, of course, VF6, to me, when it comes to new characters, they have to at least have 5 new characters. 3 females, 2 male. Because if VF has so many male fighters already, like I said, the only females they had was Vanessa, Pi, or Elaine, Sarah, which is 5. I think I said 4 earlier, but I just remember Elaine. So Vanessa, Pi, Sarah, Elaine, and Oi. So VF definitely needs to use more women. And I like to see one of those women be a Latina fighter, preferably from either Peru, Chile, or Argentina. Please don't do Brazil. Brazil's been overused in video games. And even Colombia's welcome. But just don't do Brazil. Not saying nothing wrong with Brazil. God knows nothing wrong with Brazil. It's just Brazilian fights are too common in video games. Pick another part of South America. And I also like to see a Dominican male fighter. I've been wanting to see that in Tekken for a long time. I would love to see a Dominican male fighter. I really will. Willie Wood. I said Willie will. Forgive me. Willie Wood. And that's my thing. Overall, I just can't wait to see what VF does. And I will talk about VF more. Like I said, I'm not going to be like this VF channel because that's not who I am. But I like lore, so I like to see how this game's going to develop. Lastly, they're going to have quest mode brought back. Hopefully a good arcade mode, time attack, good online. Team battle if they want to do that. Have a good, hefty single-player content. And, lobbies so people can match with their friends, cross-play, all that good jazz. But that's what I want to talk about now. The main purpose of this video is to really discuss Stella, my theories with Stella, and what I hope the VF6 roster looks like, who can stay, who can go. The next part of the video will be done, part 2 will be done once more news comes out. But anyway, that's all I want to say for now. I love you guys for the moon and back. Thank you for supporting me. It means so much to me. I've been going through a lot in my personal life, and you guys have been a good part of the better parts of my otherwise hectic life. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I'm going to stop talking now because I really got nothing else to say for now. You guys be careful, be safe, and treat people the way you want to be treated. That's it. Love you. Honest Way out. Ciao.